AskReddit, ex-vegans, why did you start eating meat again? Subscriber all and humanity. My aunt was a vegetarian for health reasons. The day she got diagnosed with cancer, she went to In-N-Out. I'm still as veggie as possible, but I moved to a country where it is 10,000% harder to be vegan. Japan. This is mostly due to not knowing a ton of Japanese and the fact that there is fish or meat in zoo. Many restaurant foods and the culture here isn't like in America, where you can ask for items to be removed or substitutions. Not that my Japanese ability would allow me to do that anyway. Got a genetic illness which makes me permanently anemic. My body only absorbs a tiny amount of iron from food, and that amount is burned pretty fast, turns out it doesn't help to cut that tiny amount as well. Also, I didn't replace the meat. I just left it out, so I basically ate less food. Edit. The genetic mutation I have is called thalassemia. Specific type: thalassemia beta intermedia. It's pretty common, especially in Mediterranean people. Usually only severe cases are properly diagnosed, since you can't really do more than iron infusions, blood transfusions, etc. Edit. Since some of you don't get it, iron supplements don't work. I get a lot of iron infusions. I need meat to get a lot of iron in me so I can absorb that minimal amount, because my doctor wants me to absorb as much as I can from food. I avoid processed meat. It's usually just a rare beef steak for me. I was vegan for a year when I lived in a big city that had lots of inexpensive options for what one could eat. When I moved to a small town in beef country, the cost of good produce quadrupled, as did the cost of meat substitutes. I quickly learned that if I didn't eat whatever I could get my hands on, I would starve, so I started eating meat again. Some people say food deserts aren't real. They are. I was traveling in Africa. Edit. This part of the trip happened to be in Zambia. Not that the specific location really matters for the point of the story. And stayed in a small village off the beaten track. I had just arrived, and as the matriarch of my host family was showing me to my room and helping me get settled in, her boys were out back slaughtering a goat for me. I couldn't turn down that meal, because that goat represented a substantial part of the family's assets. The whole experience made me realize that the social constructs around sharing food are far more important to me than what the food is. If someone is serving it, I will eat it with gratitude. I was on a diet for health reasons. When I was told I was allowed to eat meat again, my fridge started looking like a Mexican fever. Drea, monsieur. Not me, but my brother-in-law went vegan for a stretch. One of his pet causes is donating blood. As soon as he's able to, he's down at the blood clinic donating again. Anyway, on a vegan diet, his blood iron levels got too low to donate blood, so it was back to meat for hi monsieur. But his daughter, my niece, is still vegan, and it's driving them nuts, because she'll only eat those vegan chicken nuggets, and they're getting pricey. I was vegan for 3 years and had gone home to my community, which is tremendously poor. To have cold cuts and a bag of Doritos is a luxury. My aunt, who was going blind, made a family feast and everyone came. And she made a very traditional lamb stew. My heart broke when I thought of how much of her income she must have spent to make this possible, and felt like a completely entitled outsider when I told them I was vegan. They couldn't comprehend, when food is so hard to come by, why anyone would choose to not eat any protein available to keep from being hungry. Being vegan comes from a first world position of entitlement. It is a luxury to choose what you eat, when so many eat whatever is available, not out of an ethical decision, but out of necessity. Asterisk laughs in Inuit asterisk. I was using veganism as a guise for an eating disorder for well over a year. When I finally realized I was in trouble, after losing 80 pounds, I went and bought lamb chops and devoured them. Monsieur, also therapy. Fairly stupid reason, because I broke up with my ex. I became a vegan to support her, and it felt weird eating meat while she was so against it. When the relation was over, however, I no longer felt the need to support my ex in that way. Thus, meat was back in the menu, boys. *Edit. Holy shit. THNXs for all the upvotes.